aggressiveness that Cap was looking for, of course. But if you have more regen, it's going to be fighting often.
Are you also concerned about the fact, you know, I like the fact that they Storm just because it does give you that mid. But I am concerned about their lack of damage. Like, they don't have the type of support that really, you know, satisfy the ganking out a lot.
Yeah, Coddle's damage is certainly
Dire's top
not
tower
as
is
great
under
in gank,
attack.
but Nyx Assassin's still a lot there. So I think Storm does provide them enough damage generally. Like, if you pair Storm with one of the other cores plus the support, I think you should be able to kill heroes. The only one that's a bit iffy is going to be Timbersaw on those circles. I think they have some options here. And as the game gets really late, you know, Bloodseeker, not the most traditional carry, but he could buy a shard that does pure damage based on their health. That'd be really effective against Timbersaw, very effective against high HP Wraith Kings. So they have some options. They could itemize a little different. I would love to see Extremum win this early game just to see if they do itemization-wise and see how they pressure. They've got to win those lanes first before we start talking about what items are going to save your game.
Again, talking back about, you know, the fact they are going to get...
Starting again.
And again, it's pretty quiet for the most part. Haven't been seeing a lot of, like, early winner kills in a lot of these CIS games. Because actually, we've seen more aggression coming out in the EU.
Yeah, not always the lane. Like, usually they'll stabilize their lanes and go ganking, but and we'll probably see something. Fight again. Shaman trying to stack the small camp in the meantime, saves the body, block that, but pull didn't quite work out, so no big loss there. Little normal skirmish stuff. I think things top lane, a lot of fighting though.
Yeah, there's a lot of poking back and forth, but there's no real hard committal on this again. I'll normally see that aggression come out until around maybe, you know, around the 4-minute mark when we start to see the action runes come out, or of course, you know, the 5-minute mark. Definitely a rotation towards that mid lane to try to get.
So I'm curious if Timber's gonna pressure against Buck. A lot of teams go for a Orb of Venom, guaranteeing those range creeps right by Coddle. So very easy for them to flash hits. 16 so far on Bloodseeker. But once Timber gets like another level or two, he should be pretty much survivable in this lane and not have to worry about much at all. I go on Bloodseeker.
Going back and forth. Look too concerned. They get Timber off over on Nefrit, Blood right connect. And it's just Timber doing Timber things, honestly.
Now he's got 2 points. Yeah, sure, he's going to take magic damage. Storm getting zoned out of mid lane. Walking back to his bottle. Get that a little bit quicker. But he's sitting 17-2, Puck at 15-5, so they're very tied out of regen top lane active. He hasn't got any points in Kraken Shell yet. He wanted to have Gush to be able to harass and deal with Wraith King a bit. Walking over for Wraith King, but this is kind of cool. He spawns skeletons and throws his stun at Nyx. What this does is it aggroes the skeleton on him and basically makes any movements he does spotted. So that was kind of a weird little move, but kind of an effective way to spend some mana. It's not like he really needs Wraithfire Blast that bad. The skeleton just follows Nyx around and makes it so obvious.
Top lane, now that they know the Nyx isn't here, they'll try to put a little bit more down Shachlo, but not gonna have it just yet. 4-minute runes are spawning, and it's kind of, you kind of know what they're doing though, right? You know that if Ju's leaving the lane, that he's gonna trying to cure a in fact, the rune is bottom. They take down the courier, poor save.
We got something out of it. And Tide has picked up his morbid, by the way, so this is supposed to give him lane stability basically, because but kind of a cool itemization from Lightstone to basically give him really good pressure against Tide. If Tide had Kraken Shell, this wouldn't mean nearly as much, but it's a nice way to offset what Tide was trying to do. I'm gonna run back to the base and go heal. Not very normal for offlaners to do this. I heard him in the last hits about 18 and 4 versus the 4, 25. Not a bad start for Wraith King in this slightest.
Yep. See that save had already rotated over. They got plans on the shackles, aiming for a little bit more damage. And I'm pretty sure that GPK will still be able to find. In fact, they actually forced a teleport over to the lane too. So yeah, feeling very happy. Virtus.Pro Shachlo on the top lane is taking a decent chunk of damage, but don't care too much about it as the runes are up, the bounties are getting taken. Virtus.Pro grabbing the fight.
It's a tough moment. Still level 5, getting ganked is pretty. On the bright side, G did some great stacks there. He's got a double or a triple stack of large camp, a double of medium. Storm should be able to clean those up, pick up a 6 safely. Puck is about to hit 6, and that's where things get scary. Any rotations, he gets ganked, so I wouldn't be surprised to see some shift and go.
They did manage to get a courier snipe over here at the top lane. Nightfall's courier is going to not be able to deliver things to him for a bit. Over here, nice detail coming out from 2. Let's find Carapace, buys a little bit more time. This Tidehunter, though, will get taken down by Kingslayer thanks to those purifying flames.
Way too much magic damage. Well, this is usually why, because when I play Tide, I mean, it's cool to have the lifesteal and all, but like, he's got no raw HP over what he normally would have. It's a little, like, I get that if he spawns skeletons, you're getting a lot of extra lifesteal, but if he just doesn't spawn skeletons, your damage is a bit low. A little greedy, in my opinion, to go for this Morbid Mask without at least getting, like, a bracer or something. So gets punished by just way too much damage coming from Oracle, and the raindrop wasn't enough to offset it.
I'm sure the Shadow Shaman, because he's been wandering around over in the there, definitely be able to spot out that they have plenty of stacks. People that can take advantage of them. Pro, but another over here, hoping that someone's going to show up and they can get another gank off.
Radiant structures are fortified.
Interesting about Bloodseeker.
Dire structures are
going for more points in Blood Rage, just going to allow you to get a lot more. Storm's
getting all leashed up here. Safe is here. Gonna get dragged back. They might actually go down to tower. Yes, they managed to find that kill. Now GPK forced to leave. His rotation has made it a very nice counter gank to what they wanted to do.
So crucially, if Shaman was like level 4 there, he gets the Hex off before he gets the pull off. Oh!
Illusion!
Scary.
That's fine. It was calculated. Fully calculated.
It would have been tough even if Silence would have gotten him low, but not quite low enough. That would.
You had the illusion burn too.
Yeah, but by all means, but Storm would have probably just crawled away. It's a little bit hairy, but anyways, these stacks are pretty nice for Bloodseeker with no build here. He's a little bit more effective at. Look at his net worth, especially. He's actually not that far behind Timbersaw, only by 400. So if these were just regular camps, this would be a much different story. But she's going to try to defend the safe lane now with Blast, is what Coddle does best here.
Oh, they
so even though Timber, yeah, they can still.
It's like he's just backing off completely now. Yeah, the ward's
Radiant's
spotting out the rotation.
tower is under attack.
It's definitely not safe for Coddle down there, especially with Kingslayer making his own.
Dire's middle
get
tower
over here
is
though.
under
He
attack.
doesn't have a Falling Blade, so
Radiant's
portraying the
bottom
tower's going to be
tower
hard.
is under attack.
But you know, all you need to do is put a good Illuminate into the wave, and you're in a much better spot here. Looking for him, here comes a little bit of a greedy Illuminate, but that should clear things out. No, most of the tower damage is going to be gone. No signal Shadow Shaman, obviously, so they can't just power this down with the tank. So, and now they're rotating over. They've got got Rupture on Bloodseeker, so certainly if Timber gets a little bit crazy, they can go on him. And with Nyx's Coddle damage, maybe it'll be enough to get a kill, but it's going to be hard with these.
I mean, that was the big question mark. Coddle's not really great at, you know, putting damage early on unless you get a very nice Illuminate. 2 will have some of that to the fight, but bottom lane they go. They throw out the Chakra. Bloodright can connect. Illuminate comes out. Save does have to be a little bit careful because Q chasing him down over here on the side will be able to land the Pale, and now Save walking away.
And that Pale might look weird, but Shadow Shaman does not have Tranquil to the downside of going Arcane Suit. Fuck rotation though. But they'll be fine. They get a kill, but ulti for a level 4 Nyx Assassin, absolutely fine. Especially if he can defend this. He's got Illuminate ready to go. He's going to start channeling. So if he just blasts his wave, this rotation feels kind of bad for Virtus.Pro, honestly. But maybe they have enough heroes now to power down the tower.
I think they have plenty now with 4, yeah. In fact, he has to be very careful because if the Shadow Shaman is making his way over here, handle that up. We're seeing another rotation though. The teleports are coming down to the bottom lane. It's 2 again.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Got a friend coming in here with them. So it's a lot of heroes that are spending time in the bottom lane, and they haven't been able to take this tower just yet.
Yeah, and that's enough. If they did choose to fight, it would have been good there for Extreme, but Pro recognize how dangerous. They had wards spotting both rune spots, yeah, so very likely they saw Storm pick up this Arcane Rune, and that's most likely why they retreated. Not sure if they saw his TP here. Definitely scary to defend against.
Bounty!
Sure. Well, Storm not going to be lucky this time around. They regen and gets by Puck over here, so she's very happy. He'll farm up this staff.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Items.
Real great. Really good this game, in my opinion. I think it's excellent on Bloodseeker. You spend quite a bit of mana spamming Blood Wraith to farm, and the extra regen helps, and obviously it's amazing on Storm as well. And he got 30 trinkets. Storm is pretty much in like the best possible circumstance.
Radiant's bottom tower is
so
under attack.
Happy. But generally the game's pretty close. Only a 1k advantage for Virtus.Pro. Tide's been basically off doing his own thing ever since he got that death pop. He's picked up a hood to solve this like magic leak issue, and now he's going back for arcane boots. Still not sure where he's gonna go itemization. He's got to worry about pure damage, but yeah, at least he got a pretty stable.
I feel like this is what he always does though recently. Is that, you know, the other team starts to pull away a little bit. They start to do some really moves. In fact, they're going to go for a jump here over on DM. They don't have the oracles here as well. The silence comes out, the follow-up with the nuke. Mellojul realizing in the back will be able to join up with two. They'll find the Kingslayer here. They'll go back in. Top from buying a little bit more time. Save joining in. The Ravage gets committed. It will connect over on the Timbersaw. The Safe, he teleported in just to his death. Middle tower does go down. They do manage to go and use those Serpent Wards. Meanwhile,
great maneuver there by VP. It's like they took so much time to defend that. And yeah, Extremum gets the support kills, but they drop Serpent Wards and then TP the Shaman. So even though Shaman dies, they still get a massive tactical advantage out of it. And Ravage is used and barely caught the Timber. Great maneuver by VP. 3k advantage now, and that's Storm's rotation. Bloodseeker's Rupture use. They're gonna have to go back to farming now temporarily, but it's not boding super well. Didn't get the tower, got support kills, lost their tower. Not good. And Wraith King's been very close to his rep.
well, like I said, it always feels like Virtus.Pro, they play their own game. Start to see, you know, making these moves, they start to put the pressure down, but it always feels like there's like one very special item or something, whether it's picked up on, you know, DK or on their core, like Nightfall. Like there's just something in particular, and then once they get that item, it's full on go time.
Radiant.
Yeah, the lineup's definitely really fighting early. Nobody on the VP lineup is that mitigated by not having farms. So if you get like a Radiance on Wraith King and everyone else is still semi-close to the enemy team, yeah, they're absolutely gonna be a fight. Whereas on the Extremum side, they're also matching pace decently well. Like Bloodseeker's gonna have Maelstrom. Storm's gonna have Orchid very short. About 500 gold. So they have some options. 6, so pair Storm plus Nyx, they got kills, especially when Orchid comes.
Bottom lane. A little bit of reconnaissance, and they find themselves killed.
You might wish to retract your
They get a
last
response.
move.
There's the sentry. See this coming.
Save trying to juke around. Huck diving away here. They drop the Dream Coil. Do they have the damage? Yes, they'll go those drop down wards. And they manage to go turn it right back around onto Mellojul, and they find another kill on Shu. Beautifully done between K. Towards over there.
So good. The sentry, knowing that their opponents are going to be following them, that if Nyx at all plays in the area, they were going to spot him, and then getting the coil on Storm just shut the whole thing down. The stun missing was really the big part. Stun missed. I also like that Shaman didn't like turn in Hex right away. He kind of pretended like he didn't see that the disable was coming, so he just kept running. And as a result, let the hit him like normal, but instantly juke. Most players are not going to anticipate that if they don't have vision. So he basically was able to bait his opponent's watch. Watch how he just keeps moving, making his opponent think that they don't know he's there, and then he instantly jukes. And because stun got juked, basically, he gets the Hex Storm, he gets to drop his ulti, and then the DD that was still on the puck allows him to clean up super. So such a crucial play. Like, they turned a gank into a gank on 2 more heroes. It was insanely powerful.
I just felt like they also saw it coming too, right? Because they were carrying that sentry, and they're like, all right, we killed the Coddle. Someone else has got to be showing up here, right? They're gonna think that you know, we're easy picks. I just love that. I love to see this play.
So that's gonna give them even more control down in the bot lane of the map. So that's why they keep puck here. Shadow Shaman, they have huge disable between these two guys. Hex is also maxed out at this point, and he's got an Aether Lens. So Storm is, even if he has Orchid, if he doesn't silence the Shadow Shaman, he's gonna be, still doesn't have it. He's short by 100 gold. That definitely really costing him a minute or 2 on his Orchid timing that then would have given his team easier options for the kills.
This is actually so interesting. They're actually winning on Extremum as they play down at the bottom, but they will rotate here now to the top.
Protecting that pose. Should have his Orchid on the way here.
A little nervous if I was Mellojul. We saw what they did before. Granted, they did use the Serpent first, right? So, does have the Orchid online
They're
now,
back.
just has to be careful.
He definitely dies if he gets caught by these two arcane failed discord. Doesn't have treads yet either, so his raw HP is a little bit lower than normal. But he's just going to be in the area that way if Nyx pings, he knows where it is. But unfortunately for them, VP all spots this out. And now his ulti's on. Still playing here. Sentry goes down. Ooh, this is tough actually.
Is he gonna try to go for it?
Might get the ward actually. That was so lucky that the Sentry spotted it.
Shachlo taking a decent amount of damage here from DM. It looks like they're thinking about making plays, but
Radiant's
again, they'll
bottom
back off.
tower
And it just
is
feels
under
right now
attack.
like Extremum, they're feeling a
Dire
bit skittish.
are
They don't know. Like, it felt like in the bottom lane, Chu and mellojul, they wanted to make something happen, but then they got a little spooked out. And now, you know, you can see Nightfall. He's got the Radiance online.
Yeah, he does. So they're gonna VP's tempo is definitely gonna go up because they control the bot lane so well. Now they're gonna press
Radiant's
the
bottom
tower,
tower is
drop on
under
wards for
attack.
this. I don't think Extremum wants to fight until they get VP on
Dire's
Bloodseeker
top
at
tower
least.
is under
Like
attack.
they're just now feeling comfortable taking
Dire's structures are fortified.
the disadvantage that they have
Radiant's
with
bottom
the
tower
timing
is
that
under
VP.
attack. Radiant structures are
Wards been
fortified.
committed down to the bottom lane. They've used the
Dire's top tower
fortifications.
is
Shachlo's making his way over. Does have the Ravage to make something happen. The
Radiant's
tower goes
bottom
down, and they're
tower
going to immediately jump over here. Follow up. Oh, look at that damage. Trying to buy a little bit more time. They'll use the dust over on the back lines here. Nightfall, Shachlo, he doesn't want to just Ravage the one here. In fact, he can't even get the Ravage off because he's already dead. They'll find two over in the tree line. And now the rest of Extremum are just running for the high ground.
Crucially, he did not use Ravage though, so even though it was kind of a weird play, I don't know, they're like fishing for a potential fight, but like they talked about in the draft, like a couple rounds of Timber stuff, Tide will die. And the only reason that was even close to him surviving was because Coddle's been able to farm a mech with all of these creeps that he's been killing in the bot lane. So counter to Timbersaw damage, you just need more raw health, mech accomplishes that, but just weren't good opportunities to Ravage there. He Ravages, he hits primarily a Wraith King and a Timbersaw, and his team gonna want to follow up. So they now with disadvantage now, they lose shrines before the 20-minute marks. The level disadvantage is going to be pretty severe, but at least they open up the map a little top. And that
Yeah, it's a really rough game too when you're a Tidehunter. It's pretty much the main source of you know, big team fight energy coming out. Yeah, you know, you can have a storm that goes and zips on in, that's nice, but you need to have the backup, you need to have the follow-up as well. So it just feels right now that they're kind of on the back heels, and the storm hasn't been allowed to snowball the way that I'd like to.
he definitely wanted like 1 or 2 kills with the Orchid. So far, it's just been farming with this. But there weren't the best opportunities. They didn't commit enough heroes maybe to bottom. I maybe would have liked to see them do like a smoke hero perhaps. The downside is, again, the other support's like a Coddle, right? So maybe they move Coddle over and try to get a kill, but it probably would have gone about the same as it did when we helped too much. And they didn't want to put Tide or Bloodseeker into these ganks, because then if that fails, then you're not getting as much. Kind of just playing the semi-passive route on their side, and once they get BKB.
Shachlo, they spotted you with that nice ward over on the side. This is going to be a very dead Tidehunter. No one's going to be coming to save him. And the Shackles, they're of course the Illusory Orb, and Kingslayer finishes up with that final hit. That ward doing a lot there.
Maybe a little crazy how far.
They know Chu's here. Where's the dust? You have dust. Save? Okay. All right.
Maybe they weren't watching. That was a little bit weird.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Maybe they just don't care. Maybe they're a bigger fish to
Dire's
fry.
top tower is under attack.
It's a little hard. If they don't pop the dust like within like half a second or something, then it's not surprising that they.
Well, looks like they found themselves a bigger fish. Like we said, it is of course nefrit here. He's gonna try to run away. They purge off the heel, and GPK finds a kill.
I guess he would have been ran down no matter what if he tried to not. Big kill. A Bloodseeker snap his beacon. Rolled away.
It feels
Real
kind of
rough
bad.
here.
It feels like he hasn't been able to participate in really anything going on. In fact, they go on to use the Serpent wards, and that's a quick pick off on Chu. Or Keeper of the Light and Shachlo, they can't really get in there. I mean, they could, but you know, where's your damage? How are you going to do anything? You're taking wards.
They have that many dead heroes. There's no way. They almost have Blink Dagger on Tide, but he instantly moves up Solar Crest. It kind of reveals a slightly different anticipation of where the game's going. kind of like Solar on Tide here because it will give him some raw HP against Timber, which is okay. And using Solar Crest on... Nope, they changed. You go for Pipe. He went for Pipe instead, so a little bit different. But I think that's alright against Puck and some of the heroes. It'll help. It's not good against Timber, obviously, but it's not just Timber dealing damage. It's a rough game. Basically, VP got to do all the laning stuff that they wanted. The Wraith King was more or less free farm. The Tide was more or less free farm, but so was Timbersaw. And then they just did their time. It's a lot more obvious, I guess, when you have a Timber and like.
Oh yeah, they definitely have been planning for that late games. That I think Kyle always talks about that, right? Is you want to make sure that whatever items you pick up, they are going to allow you to scale.
The other thing also is that Extremum, that was this point on the draft, they didn't really have very good tower pushers. So that's another disadvantage they had. Couldn't easily take the enemy to tier 1, even though they put a little bit of effort into it, but because that fight went badly, that was like their window. They had to use team fight to take the tower, but they didn't crush the team fight, so taking the tier 1 tower was just not possible anymore. And because VP could, VP just got another map control advantage. That was part of the reason they...
A lot of people in the jungle here, friend. Careful, it does have DM stats on those. Shachlo. Alright, there's gonna be the rupture over on DM, so he's pretty tanky though. I don't think he minds too much as Shachlo is pretty far away from the rest of the team. The Ravage will come out, they're hoping maybe they can get the kill over here onto this orc, but they're not gonna be able to find it over on the back line. CS fighting, it's just going through, trying to run away here from nefrit. He's taking a lot of time, they're not actually able to kill him. In fact, nefrit, he's DKB'd, he's gonna have to just teleport out here as GPK, Nightfall finding the kill on two. They turn back around to Shachlo, he's already used that Ravage. Down, keep the ball. That was all
right there.
My goodness. And just right into the Roche pit. In typical VP fashion, they just take these objectives and immediately go for another one.
I think the perfect demonstration of how that fight went was Bloodseeker pop BKB and he slapped Timber, but it just didn't matter at all. Ravage was okay, it hit the Oracle in the back, but Storm must have been somewhere else. Was not able to kill the Oracle, and everybody just kind of got picked off. Bloodseeker does not feel as effective here as Wraith King. Yeah, he stabilizes lane well, he jungled well to get decent net worth, but like, the hero just feels hard to teamfight with until you get a BKB, if your opponents have like any teamfight at all.
I think also the thing, where are their stuns, right? Stuns, just any sort of lockdown would be just so nice, especially, you know, trying to get to these backlines, trying to do a Kingslayer. And yes, you know, you have the from Storm, you've got, you know, the Nyx, but there's only so much that these two guys can do on their own. And they have to go through a lot of things in order to get to the back of the Kingslayer.
Radiant's top tower.
Some way Shaman kind of acts like Oracle. It's like you, as long as he doesn't get disabled, he's going to save whoever the enemy team does go on. He'll drop the Hex or start hoping something
Radiant's
bottom.
top tower
It doesn't
is under
PK.
attack.
Out of Yule, so
Dire's bottom tower
they'll
is
invade
under
a little.
attack.
At least right click is pretty solid, but Maelstrom does not compete with what Wraith King is doing. They have a gem now. Keep trying to close this game out.
Found the opening, Nefrit's getting recalled. It looks like they'll go and they'll just have to be happy with taking down. But that's one scout no longer on the map. Successful Mo coming out.
Not really sure. It's hard. They have to win a fight, obviously, but I don't really feel like Tide's items really do that much inside the pipe. Pipe is kind of good, but like, Pipe's just not close enough. BKB gets used on Bloodseeker.
Yeah, he had to run away there. Now we've got our own BKB over on Nightfall. Shachlo needs to be careful, but I just feel like, and again, some of this comes down to the itemization as well, but hold that thought, Shachlo's just going to get held in place. He's trying to taunt his way out of this, but he is going to get taken down. That's going to be some more bones over here for Nightfall, if they end up winning this match, at least a good feeling. But the pressure is on now here for the tier 2, and know what Extremum really does here.
Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
Not looking good. Got Ravage once Tide comes back up. He does have buyback here. Fired.
Radiant structures
Everybody's hitting
are
buildings.
fortified. Radiant's
Push up
middle tower
fortification.
is under attack. Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Well, there's 25 minutes up. In fact, GPK runs right into Nefrit here. The pings are coming out. The more time. Waning Rift will silence him as the rest of the team. Oh, the Dream Coil does not connect. A little bit off there from GK, but you know what? The rest of the team is on their way. Can they get the damage off on him in time? No, they're not going to be able to. He's going to get recalled safely to the loving arms of G. He says, don't go over there. That's dangerous.
He's playing pretty safe for Bloodseeker being there. But I think he's worried about maybe Storm showing up as well. If Storm was there, it definitely could have been. Oh, he got the
flamethrower, yep.
Alright, so I looked at the numbers the other day. This actually could do an insane amount of damage. The lingers for 3 seconds, so it's like, it could last for like 10 seconds on somebody with 900 magic. That's a lot.
That is.
Not very good against Tide because he's got a pipe, I guess. But it also slows people by 30. Maybe he's just buying it because he's ahead and he's like, I want more damage. More easy damage. Like rather than buying Ags to get more target damage, just buy the shard, you know? Creep waves with it, it costs a lot less to clear a creep wave than use 100 mana. Never mind. I thought he was gonna flamethrower there.
Now
he will do it. He could have just used that by itself instead of using it. Yeah,
he could have.
A lot.
It's way more fun to Timber Purge, you know, without all over the place. Bibbidi bobbidi boo, as everybody.
Fire.
It's funny though, because it doesn't burn down the tree. He is Timbersaw, but the Hex is out over here in the mid lane. Big crits coming out here from Nightfall. He's going after 2. Like they have been here. Kingslayer will get saved up by his own ultimate as mellojul. He's already found the BKB. He's going to teleport out. They will be able to finally take down 2. Now they're on the hunt. They're hoping maybe they can grab Shachlo here. Okay, looking for the opening. He's going to jump forward. Finds himself a Keeper of the Light. As the Hex comes out, they drop the ward right in front of his face over here. And they'll get the kill on Shachlo.
Ward trap on Tide is actually a great counter. Disables are going to get removed Kraken Shell, but now his way to get out, it's like he's got caught. You have to hit twice to escape, so nice little use. But yeah, the Extremum just showing how far behind they are. They committed Storm to jump in to try to kill the Oracle, but he couldn't get him. Oracle didn't die in the burst. He gets false promise off, and good luck. He might have even misspelled the silence or something. Because I'm surprised he didn't die to Orchid. Maybe he channeled Fortune's End on himself, knowing he's going to go on him.
That's possible.
I've seen that play.
It's like they'll turn their attention now to the top. Extremum's just gonna have to kick back a little bit in the face. They are coming forward though. Have a couple smokes going, hoping maybe they can get the wrap around. Be able to stun up Nightfall. Nefrit coming forward. Shachlo getting into position. They need to be careful though. Try to just Shachlo before he can get that Ravage off. They're on the hunt around. We'll walk into G. Throws out the Hex immediately. Nightfall running forward. Nice win here. You're coming out from Shachlo. He has to use the Dream Coil as well. BKB comes out, but Nightfall doesn't care about that. He's doing so much damage. The snap comes out. BK gets the kill over onto G. Now they just keep focusing down over here on the Storm. Down to Shachlo. Got the Ravage off, but it doesn't do much of anything. As Extremum just gives up, they throw in the towel and call it GG.
That was the insane desperate move of a team that has very little chances of winning. But certainly the best way to do it is not walking high ground to your tri-camp when your opponents were just there. It's kind of suicidal. You can't go and you can't